Good morning, Xcellence family. This is Kristina Suengas, Xcellence Mortgage and Title Concierge, here today, bringing back our Title Tuesday. I have the pleasure and honor of working with Paul Sardon, our title attorney. He was able to catch up with me for a few minutes, and we're here to talk to you today about foreclosures and distressed sellers.
Yes.
Good morning, Paul. How are you today?
Good morning, Kristina. How's it going?
Doing good, doing good. Starting the week off well.
Yeah. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about foreclosures and touch briefly on short sales because we're starting to see these kind of creep back up into the market. I myself have received a few foreclosure cases that I'm handling now for the first time in years. And we actually have a couple of short sale transactions that we've received in the past couple of weeks too. So as the market shifts a little bit and the economy changes, we might see more of this. So while I went through it, during the big crash in 2008 through 2010, we handled hundreds of these. I know that for some agents, this could be the first time experiencing these type of deals or getting those calls from homeowners who are in that situation and may not know what to do. So the purpose of this is just touch briefly on it. Obviously, there's a whole world of detail that we can't get into here. This is just a quick thing. But the main point is for the agents is just make sure you're not giving legal advice. Even if you do know and you are experienced, do not tell a homeowner what you think of their case, how long it's going to take. Because I have seen agents get in trouble. That's considered an unlicensed practice of law. So that's the first thing you never want to do. You never want to give tax advice or legal advice unless you're also an accountant or attorney.
And that's why we have you, right? We have you as our in-house title consultant.
Right. But the main thing for the agents is because we don't want you to be scared of these because this is going to become part of our market. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a huge part like it was before, but it's definitely going to be a part, and we don't want you to pass up on these opportunities. So there's a lot of clients now that are going to be contacting that may have been in a forbearance during COVID. That means the bank told them, take 6 months to recover financially, and then you can make your payment. But the problem is they didn't realize that some banks are not deferring those 6 months of payments. They want it on month 7. They now want 7 months of payments. So, and the person didn't have it the first month, they're definitely not going to have 7 mortgage payments at that time.
I mean, I don't think any of us would. That's crazy. Yeah. 7 months all in one lump sum.
Yeah, I've had one case that's exactly what happened. And we're trying to work something out with the bank. The person in this situation doesn't want to lose their home, but in the worst case scenario, I've already told them, they're lucky enough to still have equity. So that's the difference between this time and last time. Last time, I very rarely spoke to anybody who had any kind of equity. Most were mainly like hugely upside down. Now you're coming in across people who may just not be able to afford their mortgage, but they may still have equity. So that's a good thing for you as agents because people need to move fast. That's the important thing that I tell everybody when they come see me for a consultation. I look at their property, and if they have equity and there's a chance they could sell, I'm like, well, if you can't pay every day that you don't pay, you're eating into your equity. Not only the interest that you're not paying, but attorney's fees, court costs, all that would just swallow up all your equity. So when you get those calls from distressed homeowners, that's the first thing you want to see is what they owe compared to what the property's worth. Also, unfortunately, banks sometimes are a lot less willing to work with people who have equity, even though it seems weird, but in their eyes, a foreclosure nets them their full money back. Whereas in situations where somebody might owe $300,000, the property's now worth $200,000, they know they're going to take a loss if that goes to foreclosure. So they're more willing to work with a homeowner and keep them in there. That's what they did in a lot of loans back then, and it's worked out for them. So those are just things to consider, but it's important when doing this that your clients are represented. They can't just ignore the foreclosure if they get served with one. If they receive a notice, whether it be the banks have to give a 30-day notice under federal law before filing the foreclosure, that's the time to get in touch with me or their attorney and to get in touch with you to figure out a plan. Do they need a few months to catch up? Do they want to try to go to mediation and negotiate something, some kind of workout on the loan? Is there a backup plan to sell the house if not, or do they just need to get out of there and sell and get their equity and go to something cheaper? So those are the main things. And then if you run into a situation where the person doesn't have equity and there's a short sale is not a simple process by any means. There's everything in a short sale has to be approved by the lender, and you need someone to negotiate that. I personally have handled hundreds of them during the last downturn, and I know they could take 30 days, they could take 6 months. I've had short sales that take a year. The bank's going to do their own valuation. They're going to do their own, it just needs to be something that's structured and organized. So, you don't have to be an attorney to do it. A lot of agents try to negotiate them themselves. If you want to do it and give it a shot, by all means, but we're here to do that. It's a frustrating process, especially if you don't know what you're doing.
Well, and I think the key is to just know, as part of the Xcellence family, that we have Paul as a resource. He's extremely knowledgeable, and I think many times we think we've done something like this before, we can handle it. Right. But I myself, in the last month or two, have seen several scenarios where everything was fine and then things pop up at the end. And we even had a client that didn't want title insurance. You just need that person guiding you through. And I think just having you as a resource available throughout the whole process, not only to handle the issue at hand, but someone who's knowledgeable, that can have the legal advice and kind of guide you along the way, is the key. And that's what we're here to do. And Paul is really easy to talk to. You can call him, you can email him, just send us your concerns, and then we can see how we can help you. And I think the key is you can't just say, oh, I've done it before, every foreclosure is the same. Whether you're representing the buyer or the seller, know that every single scenario is different. And this is why we have Paul here to guide us through. And I always say, don't hesitate to ask. It's better to be informed, and we may not need the full breadth of services, but know exactly what the situation is. So you go in educated and informed. That way your client has a great experience, whether they're the buyer or the seller. So I'm always calling Paul, asking him questions, and he's very, very knowledgeable, approachable, and he's here to help our agents. So please leverage us as a resource. Anything else, Paul, that you want us to look out for, whether it's the buyer or the seller?
The buyers, if you're buying distressed property, even though a lot of times you're representing a buyer and then the seller chooses the title company in those situations, but we do also offer representation. As a buyer is going to want somebody on their side, an attorney to overlook, to make sure that what they're buying is, the title's clean and there's no lingering issues. Also, they're being treated fairly on costs. So we also offer that, REO buyer representation, even when we can't do title. And we can do that because I can do that as an attorney. Most title companies any title company that doesn't have an attorney can't do that because that's legal representation. But that's just one of the other services that we offer.
That's awesome to know. And see, every scenario is going to be different. So please reach out to us as the agent concierge for both mortgage and title. I'm here to help and serve and support our agents and put you in touch with Paul when you need us. Just know we're here. We're here to support you at any time. Contacting us is easy, either at the agent support line, the direct corporate line, 305-595-7355, or simply by hello@Xcellence Title, Paul@Xcellence Title. So there's easy ways to reach out to us. We do want to hear from our agents. If there's anything you want us to touch base or talk about, please let us know. We'll be reaching out to you through Title Tuesdays. And we want to hear any success stories. Anyone wants to do an interview about what went well. We appreciate any feedback from all of you. So with that, I wish you all a great week. Thank you, Paul, for taking the time. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more properties like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, no.
But hopefully with equity.
Yeah, hopefully with equity and get the sale done and people move on something they can afford. But if not, whatever it is, we're here to make it as easy as possible for them.
Yeah, because 7 months in one lump sum, I don't think any of us, I don't know anyone, at least in my circle.
Crazy. When I saw that, I was like, all right.
Take that on. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, well, we really appreciate your time today, Paul.
All right.
And agents, anything we can do to help and support you, please know that we're here. We wish you a fabulous rest of the week. Thanks, everyone. Bye.